Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondell.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is. Gordon again! What a performance by Melvin Gordon!
And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers.
Camp Randall lets it roar.
An unrivaled fan base, the best college sports town in the world. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
So live it up right here, right now. Till the sun comes up.
Until it wasn't.
Hey, the first half was awesome.
They had us in the first half, not going to lie. 31-7 Indiana in a game where Wisconsin found itself in a tie in the first half with the second-ranked team in the country, but the Hoosiers took control over the Badgers the rest of the way, mainly that third quarter. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day at Pooley's in Madison. It's my first time here. This is an awesome venue. There's like room for bags tournaments in the background over here.
Volleyball courts, basketball courts. The decor is awesome.
Yeah.
Got some kids playing pinball behind us. It is a sweet venue.
Yeah, so the occasion, not the happiest one in terms of a 24-point loss, but there are a lot of positives to take away from this. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by our friends over at Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold-filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment when the mountains are blue. You know what to do, Riley.
And that is Crush, a Coors Light.
2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. My name is Corey Sparks. That is Riley Yauk. We are joined at the Everlight Solar Studios at 100.5 ESPN Madison by Owen Dimful. Our carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, Liz is 844-770-3776. You can find us across the ESPN Wisconsin app, the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel, and on 100.5 ESPN Madison. If you're chilling in the living room after the game, you got us tuned in, or you are driving somewhere right now and you have the radio on, we appreciate you joining us. This is our instant reaction block, and I want to start off with a very simple question. You can chime in the live chat. We'll be monitoring that on ESPN Madison and Milwaukee's YouTube channels as well. How did today make you feel? And I mean, I guess if you pick certain aspects of the game, certain quarters, you'll have very different reactions because today was just a roller coaster, Riley.
Yeah, I would say I feel disappointed, yet very encouraged by what I saw today. Disappointed because the story of the game was the third quarter. The third quarter is when things got out of hand for the Badgers. I was listening on the radio on our drive over from the Everlight Solar Studios to Pooley's, heard Matt LePay and Mark Tauscher, and you could hear on that third down conversion, the 48-yard pass down the field from Mendoza, that took the wind out of their sails, and I think that took the wind out of Wisconsin's sails.
Yep.
They let Indiana go down the field and score a touchdown after that, and that was the linchpin. That was the turning point of the game today, unfortunately, because it felt like they had all the momentum still, even though they were trailing heading in to the second half, only down 10-7. They were giving Indiana everything they could handle in that first half, but then after that, it was just a snowball. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. They have that big play. They score. Okay, you're still in it. Let's go down the field and get some points. Yeah. You're right back in it. Then Gideon Atuka gets carted off the field.
That was the ultimate linchpin.
That just took even whatever wind was left in the sails, that zapped that. And everyone was down on a knee. It was a very scary sight. We still have no word on what the injury was. He was carted off, immobilized. He gave the thumbs up. You hate to see that. Very scary injury. Then you have Carter Smith. He goes out on the third down. He fumbles the football. He makes his first real freshman mistake. He had done such a good job last week against Washington and in the first half against Indiana of taking care of the football.
Yep.
And that allowed Wisconsin to remain in these games. And then he gives that up. They have a short field. They go down, score another touchdown. And then you're like, oh, boy, this one might be over. And it was. It ended up being over. Then he throws another interception, another just dumb freshman mistake. He didn't see the zone coverage. The guy dropped back. He just missed him.
Yep.
That's a mistake a freshman quarterback makes. And you remember Indiana is still the number 2 team in the country. They are ranked that way for a reason. They are 11-0 for the first time in program history.
How about that?
For a reason. They are a very, very good football team, and Wisconsin is not there yet. They are a young team. They are ravaged by injuries. However, I don't think that first half was fool's gold.
No, because it was following 8 straight quarters where I feel like Wisconsin was progressively playing more and more competent to the point where I even felt comfortable saying really good football. Was it in all 3 assets of the game? No, it was not. But special teams was awesome against Washington. They had a block. The defense has been the calling card of this team, and it's been their identity, which is something we really could not say this squad had in the first half of the 2025 season. But for how did today make you feel, I had, again, kind of riding the roller coasters of consuming your favorite college football team in action. Proud, excited, amped up.
Yeah.
We were jumping around like a bunch of
Oh
happy
my gosh.
idiots for that Lance Mason touchdown.
4th and 1 play action, just a beautiful call by Jeff Grimes and perfect execution.
Yep. And I don't remember the last time that this football team specifically made me feel like that. I'm not a very emotional college sports fan or a sports fan in general. It takes a lot to get me to jump up, and I couldn't help but do that. We were jumping up and down, parading around the Everlight Solar Studio, so happy about that. And then the second half happened, the drive over, where we were all to ourselves, experiencing it in our own capacities. Then I was depressed for a bit because you're like, oh, my goodness.
Yep.
This team had a lot of momentum, but like you said, Riley, at least for the third quarter, I can't say this about the whole game because, again, this is an Indiana team that hung 63 on Illinois when they were ranked before, so that it could have been worse. But in terms of the third quarter, that could not have gone worse. The Atuka injury, the failure to convert on offense, the timely turnovers, costly turnovers, timely for Indiana's defense. This team was down a field goal to the number 2 team in the country at the break. There's obviously a talent gap here, but my main takeaway, you can tell something is galvanizing this team because for, I would say now, 11 of the past 12 quarters, they have put those together. They are heading in the right direction. It didn't feel like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And you can't say that about this football team the first 6-7 weeks of the season. Nice.
Yes, and I think that first half especially, even with how poorly the second half went, this was still a small step forward.
Yep.
A step forward, you can argue how small that step was, but I think it was forward nonetheless. They carried that momentum from the victory over Washington into the first half today, and they put a scare into Indiana. They were matching the physicality, the toughness, the heart, and it didn't matter that the talent gap was so wide in that first half. Wisconsin was hammering away right with them. They talked about pounding the rock all the time and how eventually it broke. Last week, Washington broke.
Yep.
Indiana made of a little bit tougher stuff. They did not break. But in that first half, Carter Smith, he managed the game well. He made some good throws. You have obviously the touchdown to Lance Mason. But then he fit some balls into some tight windows.
He did.
He looked poised. He followed his blockers. He remained a patient runner. He led the offense well. Atuka ran hard. He was banged up coming into today. And he still ran like a bat out of hell until he went out of the game. Mason Posta still made plays. Deani Hill had a heck of a game today. Cooper Catalano got a sack. Darrell Peterson played well. This team played very, very well if you take out the third quarter. But third quarter, that first half was so good. And that's why I make this plea to Badgers fans. And I think a lot of people are with me this week. Don't give up on this team yet.
No.
Do not. Hold on to hope. We are seeing the foundation being built. Is it a lot later than we would have liked to see it being built, given that it's year 3? Yes, but it's there.
Yeah.
The young core is there. And I think if they finish this season strong, if they beat Illinois, they beat Minnesota, we have a lot of positive momentum heading into next season. And this team, with a more manageable schedule, can make a massive turnaround in 2026.
Could you imagine, after everything that this program and this state and this fan base has been dragged through, they have the same record as last year? I'm not saying last year was a success or anything, but it felt like we were 1-50 a couple of weeks ago. So if you're talking about a team that went up against one of the toughest schedules in all of college football and faced criticism from every angle towards their athletic director, towards their head coach. And I'm not saying some of it isn't deserved.
It's very warranted. It was very warranted.
100%, right? But if you can see this team going in the correct direction, and you have Wisconsin fans who are going to know names like Cooper Catalano and Mason Posa and go, oh, yeah, we might get like 3 or 4 years with those guys. That's something positive to take away from today. 844-770-3776 is the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. Liz is more. We'll be checking on you in the live chat for the ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube channels as well. How did today make you feel? Because I do think there's a wide range of it. You are going to have the segment of this fan base, and they're allowed to feel that way, saying you lost by 24 points, I don't care who it's against, I'm not happy. But you're also going to have the section of the fan base that watched every second of the game and realized a couple of those scores for Indiana were on short fields.
Yes.
Again, you can make excuses, but there's injuries, there's short fields for Indiana. A lot did not go Wisconsin's way for about a real-time period of 25 to 30 minutes. It could have been a lot worse. And Indiana is not a team that rests on their laurels with the fourth quarter to go. They might put their backups out there, but they're not going run, pass. They are trying to score 90 on you. That is the Cignetti way. That's the Dan Lanning way, the team in Oregon that onside kicked Wisconsin to start the game.
Yeah.
This Indiana team was not going to just stop at a 24-point lead because they could. There was a certain aspect of Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Mendoza likely, getting sacked 5 times that made Indiana realize, we put our guy in the medical tent. We probably shouldn't have him drop back and make deep passes the last quarter of the game because we're trying to save him for a CFP run. So there is that.
Yes, and I think this team, and especially this defense, like they turned a corner. We were talking about this in the first half. Something clicked during that Oregon game, even though you had the elements, you had the weather against Oregon, against Washington. They're playing with a different energy and a different fire.
You could hear the
right
pads
now.
popping today.
Exactly.
Again.
Yes, everyone was hitting. They matched Indiana blow for blow that first and throughout the game. If you're talking about the defense, even though it doesn't reflect on the scoreboard, you're talking straight hit for hit. Wisconsin was lowering the boom just as much as Indiana did today, and that is something Luke Fickell, his mantra since he got here, tough, nasty, discipline. I saw a tough, nasty, disciplined team on the field today.
100% agree. Looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin, Badgerland Exteriors is here to help you. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar, Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started today on your next project. He did not go 3 for 12 for 8 yards today. The weather was a lot better. He knew he was going to be the starter coming into the game, so that helps Carter Smith. Is he the guy going forward, and how do you feel about the Wisconsin offense, which still does leave a lot to be desired?
I think there is optimism there, though, this week. This wasn't Sean West leading the team in passing. At one point in the second quarter, I think with the 2-minute warning, maybe a little bit before, but Wisconsin actually led Indiana in passing yards. And obviously, like, we're searching for moral victories right now. First half doesn't mean anything when you lose 31-7, but with where this program and where this team is at right now, it's still noteworthy, and it's worth taking a look at.
100% agree. More on that next. Carter Smith being the future and what this team on offense can take away from the first 10 weeks of the season into the final 2. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Attention, business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Black Friday deals are here at Brothers Maine. Score the lowest prices of the year on top brands like Samsung, Electrolux, Bosch, LG, and Frigidaire. With our low price guarantee, Big Box can't beat our deals. Shop local and save at Brothers Maine.
Planning a corporate event, private party, or team outing? Madison acts as your state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Whoa, you nailed it! Featuring 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, and interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard. 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Book your corporate event or holiday party now, before their lanes fill up. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Shop the pig! Thanksgiving starts with the bird, and at Piggly Wiggly, you can gobble up savings. Jenny-O turkeys are just 39 cents a pound. That's right, you can bring home a 12-pound turkey for less than $5. And while you're here, don't forget to sign up for the new Pig Points Rewards program, where the more you shop, the more you earn, and the more you save. So hurry in, grab your turkey, and make this Thanksgiving a winner, only at Piggly Wiggly.
Win a pair of tickets to see Green Bay host Chicago on December 7th.
Which includes access to Green Bay's upscale tailgating destination,
the Tundra Trio.
3 upscale homes just steps from the stadium, featuring next-level pre- and post-game festivities with gourmet food and premium drinks. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and ESPN Wisconsin. Enter to win now at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Wherever you watch the game, nothing hits like the bold signature flavor of Dr. Pepper.
Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper during your next visit to McDonald's. No purchase necessary. Enter by November 23rd.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project.
Hey, this is Jonathan Blackwell of Wisconsin Badgers basketball. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Heads Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, long as we're going somewhere together.
Welcome back to the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show, brewed by Coors Light. That was a fun first half. Indiana takes over in the third quarter and essentially
first half rocked.
Coast to victory from there. If we could have stopped the game there, that would have been sick.
First half champs.
Yeah, first half champs. Second quarter champs. They won that quarter on its own. But yes.
Many are saying. You take out the third quarter, this was a hell of a game.
It really was. When Lance Mason caught that 40-something yard touchdown from Carter Smith, I looked at you guys after we jumped around for like 2 minutes and went, that's going to be on national radio and TV right now. That's the haymaker for your Rocky IV reference, which we'll get to more later today. I think there's a lot of applicables there to how today went and how this Wisconsin team has gone. I was like, that's the touchdown that's going to get a lot of national attention where it's, maybe Wisconsin pulls off a little upset. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And they were in contention until they weren't, but that's okay.
And I think you take that play, the Lance Mason play action for the touchdown, is a microcosm of Jeff Grimes, I think, called a really good game today.
He did.
He had Indiana's defense on their heels. It finally felt like he had a group that he was comfortable with for the first time, and I don't know how long, maybe since Middle Tennessee. It felt like he had some guys he was comfortable digging into his bag a little bit. You had, let me take a look here. I wrote some of them down. You had the fake pitch on the little running back wheel route. Didn't work. Carter Smith overthrew his guy, but I like the play call. I like the idea. You had the screen pass to Vinny Anthony, oh my gosh, in the first half where he had, it looked like 50 yards of daylight in front of him if he's able to haul that in and go. And then obviously you have the Lance Mason play action pass. And overall, when Atuka was in the game, the running game was consistent. and they got a little bit of push against a really talented Indiana defensive line. I think Jeff Grimes today showed what this offense could be, and give him another offseason, give him some healthy quarterbacks, some healthy running backs, a healthy offensive line, and some consistency, and I think this offense can be very, very good next season.
100% agree with you. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Well, stop now is the time to get housed. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. You love Jeff Grimes. That's a great call because I do think he called a freshman-friendly playbook today. But he also did knock the number 2 team in the country on their heels. I like the freshman who was, made a freshman mistake towards the end there, but was making strides. In all honesty, Riley, Carter Smith could have gone 0 for 20 today, and I wouldn't be able to tell you he's not the guy going forward.
Why do you say that?
Because of 2 reasons. One, we talked about it a little bit after the win against Washington. He is a tactile runner. Like, he knows exactly where the gaps are going to be. He's patient. He's surgical. He waits for those holes to develop, and then he drives through them. But 2, and you can't say this about all guys that get animated, he's able to galvanize a team. When he gets fired up, you can see the guys rushing around him, getting excited for a first down, getting excited for second and short when he gains 5 or 6 yards. There are not a whole lot of guys out there that can lead a football team and get them to the point where they go, yeah, that's our guy. Maybe it was 5 or 6 yards, but he's excited about it, and I'm ready to drive this offense down the field with him. There's not a lot of guys in this football team that can do that. But Carter Smith's one of them. And he's got at least 4 years with this team if he wants them.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen that leadership and that belief in the guys around a quarterback with this team since Billy Edwards Jr. went down in that first half. I think in that first game against Miami of Ohio, Billy Edwards, he missed on some throws, but there were openings. And all offseason, Billy Edwards, you could tell he really took on a leadership role with this team. And that's something when he went down. And then I think it was really after the Maryland game when he tried to come back and just couldn't and kind of faded into the background a lot more. Since that Maryland game especially, this team has been looking for an offensive leader. There's been some good moments from young guys like Atuka. It's funny, I'm trying to think of other bright spots in that stretch before Oregon, and I can't really think of any.
Lance Mason has been on the receiving end of some big moments.
Yes.
I will give him that.
But there's been no consistency again, and there was no one who sort of took the reins. Danny O'Neal tried, but that always felt a little, once he made those mistakes at Alabama, he wilted, and I think the team wilted around him. He didn't have the toughness, so to speak, the thick skin to deal with that adversity. And then Hunter Simmons, I think the first drive against Michigan, people were rallying around him. And then after that, he kind of wilted. Carter Smith has remained poised. He has stayed confident and stood tall despite the struggles. Like last week against Washington, he didn't have a good game at all. But he remained calm and confident when he was running the offense, and I think people really responded to that, and that carried over into today. Even after those mistakes in the second half, he doesn't seem like a kind of guy that's going to fold under pressure, which is very nice to see.
I think what he did against Washington was a really good example of someone who knows how to take the temperature of the room, too. When he scored that touchdown, where is the first place he looked? And this isn't to be reminiscent of a past game. I know we're responding to Indiana, but he looked up to the student section, and he riled them up. This is a program that needs that right now. A program that if we want to see Camp Randall filled again going forward, you need someone that people are willing to show up and look forward to. That guy could be Carter Smith. And so, okay, we've gone over the good. Jeff Grimes called a pretty good game, I think, all things considered. Again, he's been working with a hodgepodge offense for the entirety of the season, called a freshman-friendly playbook today, and I do think that he kept Indiana on their heels, completely fooled them on the fourth and short.
Even with the freshman-friendly playbook,
that's a tough balance to strike.
They didn't know what was coming before it happened. This wasn't the Packers-Eagles where they were barking out the play calls and guessed correctly ahead of time on big plays. It was a 4th and 1. It's actually the exact same situation. And they flipped it, and Jeff Grimes was one step ahead. Even when they weren't successful, the talent gap, I think, really evened that up. But Jeff Grimes did all he could to level the playing field, so to speak, with a just injury-ravaged offense and a much less talented squad.
Very well put. 844-770-3776 is the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Lists is more. You can chime in on the first half of this segment, which is what's good about this offense? We've come up with Carter Smith. We've come up with Jeff Grimes. I'm actually impressed with us, Riley. We talked about what's good about this offense for about 5 or 6 minutes here, and they left a lot to be desired the last handful of weeks. There was progress today. I know the scoreboard reads 7 for Wisconsin, but they were moving the ball between the 20s pretty well. And if we want to get technical, there was a missed field goal that probably should not have been at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, Vakos. Yeah. Let's not let Nathaniel Vakos slide by today, too.
Yeah.
We gave him a pass last week, which, to be fair, he did knock home 2 field goals.
Yep.
So
and the weather was tough.
Yes, and he made up for it last week. But Vakos has not been consistent this year. He has cost the Badgers points in numerous games, and he did last year, too. In the games that the Wisconsin got blown out, I think he missed a field goal in almost all of them.
Yeah.
So that is something, again, you have to play a perfect game to beat Indiana. Were they going to with how that second half, especially that third quarter, shook out? No. But to put the pressure on to go into halftime tied instead of down 3, that makes a difference. These little things that there's so much potential that you're starting to see with this squad, but those little things are still not there.
They're still missing some departments.
And you could argue field goals are not a little thing.
No,
That's a big thing. That's 3 points.
That is true. And there's also aspects of this offense that have not been great, right? And so we did see play calling was better today. Carter Smith has been good. But I'm dancing around what Scott in Fort Worth is mentioning in our live chat right now. You have brought this up for weeks ad nauseum. Wisconsin doesn't have a skill position playmaker that they can hang their hat on. They've got talented dudes. They're spreading the ball out when they're able to, but they don't have someone who you can go, yeah, he's going to be our 100-yard receiver today. That's just simply not the case in Wisconsin right now.
Yeah, and I can't remember if this was Alabama or Maryland, but I think it was Alabama. This where we said it, and this has remained the case throughout the year. We're now in week 12 of this season, and Wisconsin still does not have a playmaker. Getting Atuka kind of close. He's shown flashes. Maybe next year he can step into that role and be that guy. But the Badgers don't have a difference maker on offense. And if you want to win these games, you need to have someone who can break it open, who can make a big play. I talked about in the pregame show, Penn State, the way they hung around was big plays.
Yeah.
And who do they have? Nicholas Singleton at running back. Even with James Franklin gone, they still have a hell of a lot more talent than Wisconsin does at the skill positions. And for the past 3 seasons, I'm even counting, Braylon Allen was not really a game wrecker in his first year under Luke Fickell, or his last year at Wisconsin, first under Fickell. Fickell has yet to recruit a playmaker on offense, and that is a big, big issue. I hope Eugene Hilton Jr. maybe getting a Tuca moving forward, maybe Tretch, but it seems like there's still – I thought Tretch and Vinny could be those guys this year, and again, you're seeing sparks. You're seeing little bits and pieces, but no one has stepped into that role and taken the bull by the horns, which is very frustrating.
I thought it was going to be Vinny Anthony, and this might be a chicken or the egg scenario. Like, is he needing to break out and just hasn't got there yet, and he's obviously running out of time? Or has the Badgers' passing offense, thanks to the injured offensive line, thanks to the fact they've burned 4 quarterbacks now through 2.5 months, is that the reason they haven't been able to get the ball in his hands? I don't fully know the answer to that because we've seen them try to get little pop passes to him. That screen pass could have gone for 6.
And that, we never – did you ever see a replay? I don't think I ever saw a replay of that play, so I'm not sure if it was more on Carter Smith or Vinny, but I know it hit him in the hands. It was coming in a little hot.
Space.
And he had room to maneuver. That's a catch as a senior. I've talked to him a few weeks in a row now at player availability. I know he'd say he needs to make that catch, and he has to make that catch. You need to make plays. You have to put more pressure on teams. I think this team can and will beat Illinois and Minnesota moving forward, but it's going to be on the back of the defense. I don't trust anyone on this offense to make a game-changing play right now, and that has to be rectified moving forward heading into 2026.
100% agree. When we come back, well, first we'll do this. We're going to thank our friends over at Canopy Wealth Management for supporting the program. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, it's care, competence, and clarity. That is not just a tagline, it is a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. Alex T is in our ESPN Milwaukee YouTube live chat. Thinking of the next segment that we're going to get to, what does the future look like for this football team? Alex T., we have your answer next. Hopefully, at least our ideas. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
There's a lot to be thankful for this season at Metro Ford of Madison. Get the 2025 Ford F-150 STX, now available with 2.9% APR for 66 months. That's just $16.64 per $1,000 financed. Or if leasing's your style, drive home the F-150 STX for just $299 a month with $3,859 due at signing for 36 months. Don't wait. These thankful offers end November 19th. Find your next Ford today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, the post-game edition rolls on. You can and save money and save the planet by ditching the energy bill and making the switch over to Everlight Solar. They are your local resource, and they are your local solar energy company based right here in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Corey Sparks, Riley Auk here with you at Pooley's in Madison. Really cool atmosphere. If you're watching live on the ESPN Madison or Milwaukee YouTube channels, like we've got the pinball machines behind us, and that is what, 2% of this venue, if that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You got vintage ESPN banners, a Super Bowl banner from inside the stadium.
Yep.
You got sick flags of every Big Ten team, of non-Big Ten teams.
Signed jerseys. We have Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams.
This is wild. Some insane old newspaper clippings and magazine cutouts, all autographed. This place rocks.
Like in another universe, Riley, I'm a very rich individual, and I have the man cave that everyone wants in their basement.
Yes,
this is it.
Yes, this is the man. This
Yeah.
is like a bar,
Exactly.
like transplant the dream man cave,
Yep.
but make it a bar. That's Pooley's.
This is awesome stuff. So we appreciate the team over here at Pooley's for having us. Alex T is in our ESPN Wisconsin Carbless Talk and text line. List is more 844-770-3776 if you want to call or text into the show, or you can go into the live chat. And Alex T, you must have seen our rundown, because the next thing we were going to talk about, and we feel it's an important question, is this: what does the future of Wisconsin Badgers football look like? Riley, an alum, someone who's very invested in this program,
Yes.
and I've grown to know that the last year. I'll let you lead us off.
Yeah, I think the future of the program is here. We've seen it, and it's the youth. It's the youth movement on this team. Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano, I would be absolutely shocked if they transferred. Cooper Catalano's an in-state kid. He loves Luke Fickell. He loves being a Wisconsin Badger. And him and Mason Posa are attached at the hip. They are roommates. They are best friends. My mind would be blown if any amount of money is able to lure these guys away. And I think Wisconsin's going to make a very direct effort and intensive effort to keep Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano and reward them justly for how they have played this season. So I think on the defensive side, you have Mason Posa, Cooper Catalano. They have looked absolutely fantastic. And then the offensive side of the ball, you have Carter Smith, obviously still a lot of room to grow, but he has shown flashes. He has shown growth. Even from last week to this week, you're looking for growth. We've been looking for growth all season. All season we've been talking about this team and how can they stack success? Can they build momentum? Can they continue to move forward? And I think Carter Smith, you're seeing growth, which is a very good thing. Getting Atuka, if he's okay, like you wonder what the injury is. It looked like maybe a bad concussion. If he can get back to normal, I'm okay with resting him, like sitting him out the rest of the season.
Let him heal.
If it means he is back and healthy and even better next year. So I think he is a piece. Eugene Hilton, that is someone, he was highly recruited out of high school. That is someone I worry about a little bit, being recruited away. But if you're able to retain him, then I think you have a very nice young core. And on the offensive line, you have 3 redshirt freshmen who have started almost the entire season. The offensive line, I think, will look drastically different and drastically better come next year. So that's what the future looks like. And I think you're seeing the makeup or sort of the personality of the future of the team start to develop, which is that tough, nasty discipline. It's we're going to hit you in the mouth, and you got to be able to take it and deal it back, because if not, we are going to run over you. A defensive-led team, and hopefully next year a competent offense, which, again, we saw flashes today, but a consistently competent and hopefully good offense next year, and more of a Wisconsin football team that we've come to expect, like a hard-nosed, nasty, physical squad. And Scott in Fort Worth brings a very good point to the table. Took 3 years for a youth movement. Yeah, that's an issue. Fickell has made lots of mistakes, and we're not discounting that. I think the hiring of Phil Longo,
that set them back at least a year.
Exactly. That is up there with one of the worst hiring decisions in Wisconsin football history. That was atrocious. And that brought him back, and now he did away with the Badgers' identity, and now he finally is trying to rekindle that. And again, I blame more of Phil Longo for that, but Still, regardless, it was a Luke Fickell decision, and I think with the youth on this team, with how much promise they've shown, if Fickell is able to develop them this offseason, and then he needs to repair relationships. That's, Corey, you said in the YouTube chat, like, relationships are how these young guys stay.
Yep.
Relationships are how fans and alumni stay invested in this team and what Luke Fickell is trying to build. He needs to put a large emphasis on winning back the alumni, the former players, the fans who loved Wisconsin football for what it was, who have been here for decades, and all they want to do is see the Badgers succeed. He needs to get those guys back on his team, because if he doesn't, I get winning cures all, but there's still going to be a segment of the fan base that never gets back on the train. So I think that's what the future has to look like. You got to rally around these young guys. You have to keep them here. You have to build around them, bring back the gritty Wisconsin football that we have come to know and love, and get the fan base and the alumni back on board. And I think winning these last 2 games is going to be critical in that.
You hit the nail on the head, and that gave me a flashback to the past, to not a very good moment, but one I remember. Wisconsin loses to Maryland in what a lot of people chalked up to be a win when you play the preseason scheduled game. Evan Cohen calls into the show and says, this was not some exaggerated ramble. He meant it, and I think it rings truer now than it ever has before. Luke Fickell needs to get on the phone, get out in the community, and talk to these businesses, talk to these alumni, talk to the players right now, talk to their families, and get everybody invested. That's going to matter the closer and closer we get to the end of the season, when the questions that Scott from Fort Worth is asking and some of the other members of our ESPN Wisconsin Carbless Talk and Text line are asking, how do you get guys to buy in? Yeah, it's you go out and make these personal touch bases and say, look, this is what we're building. I'm going to be fully transparent on you on who's going to be involved, how it's going to look like. Here's the other thought that popped up for me, Riley. Obviously, Wisconsin's 3-7. It hasn't been pretty at certain points. What is the old brand of Wisconsin football? It's tough defense. Yep. It's run-oriented, and it's you hear the pads popping regardless of what side of the football you're on, if it is Gideon Atuka fighting for extra yardage or a linebacker coming in like Cooper Catalano and popping someone for tackle for loss. That is Wisconsin right now. They are returning to the identity that a lot of people were hoping. Tough defense, physical on both ends of the football, and run-oriented. It's not leading to wins, but we are returning to that, and it did lead to a win last week.
Yes.
That ugly, Jim Rutledge said it, it looked like a 1930s football game on the Jump Around, a Badger-dedicated podcast that airs every Thursdays that you're a big part of. It was an ugly football game. It looked like the 1930s. You could have painted that game in black and white, and it was beautiful because Wisconsin wins games like that, and they have historically won games like that.
Yes, and Seth Schroeder, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, in the ESPN Milwaukee chat, blame Longo for the idea we purposely were trying to go high-powered offense. That was the whole reason you brought Fickell in. Seems like some revisionist history. I would argue I hesitate to go full in with Hunter Vaughn on this. This is his take that he thinks Longo sold him a bad bill of goods when he brought him in and deceived Fickell a little bit. Like, he thought, like, he sold Fickell an idea of, I'm going to marry this air raid to sort of that tough run-heavy offense that Wisconsin's been so good at and that Fickell wanted to see. And, like, if you look at the stats, it was 50-50 run-pass, and it was just not at all what was expected, which is still, again, that's on Fickell if you let him deceive you like that. But I think, I think it's totally fair to blame that on Luke Fickell. It's just I don't know. Phil Longo was just, and we're seeing it at Sam Houston too. Like, he runs a bad offense. The air raid just doesn't work.
I was curious to see
it didn't work at Wisconsin. It was never going to work at Wisconsin, unfortunately. And you look at what Fickell had at Notre Dame with Mike Denbrock. I think that's what Fickell wanted to do here, where you have a very good quarterback like a Desmond Ridder, but still you lean on the running game. Like, they had Jerome Ford. They were able to pound away at teams in the American Athletic Conference. They were a tough team out there at Cincinnati. And I think that's more of what he wanted to do. And they had that Will Pauling back in the day. Like, they were able to stretch the field a little bit with a great quarterback and some solid wide receivers, but their base was running the football. And I think that's what he hoped to recreate. He thought Phil Longo was the guy, and he turned out to be very, very wrong.
100%. I was curious to see how Phil Longo would do outside of the Big Ten. I was not expecting to see what Sam Houston is doing right now. We do have Jay from Madison on the Cardinals Talking text line. Liz is more, 844-770-3776. Jay, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well. What do you got for us?
Well, I just want to know if anybody else questions this. In Alabama, with 3 minutes left in the game, with a young offense on the field, we just ran the clock out. We burned like no timeouts. We didn't try to score. And I know that was a long shot, but don't you give youngsters an opportunity to run a 2-minute drill? And then today, in the end of the first half, we had 50 seconds left, and we had 2 timeouts, and we didn't try to do a thing. Now we had the wind at our backs. If you get it down to the 35-yard line, you have a chance to maybe kick a field goal and tie the game going into the half. Does that bother anybody else?
So let me answer you first, Jay. I know it bothers other people because going into halftime, we were watching back at the Everlight Solar Studio, and our teammate Adam Mertz, who hosted the postgame show with us last week, he was very peeved by Wisconsin deciding to, I don't want to say phone it in because I'm on the other side of the aisle here, but just taking the 3-point deficit into half and being okay with that. He was not happy. So, Jay, you are definitely not the only one. I will push back on you for this week in particular against Indiana. I did not mind it. You played an excellent first half against the number 2 team in the country. Carter Smith looks solid. Atuka is running well. You run the football once. If he busts one, go for it.
Yep.
If not, don't let the freshman quarterback make the mistakes he made in the second half, which he showed he was very clearly capable of. So I didn't mind it this time around. However, I will say I was also very frustrated with how they handled the end of the Alabama game because, like you said, you literally have nothing to lose. The game's over. Just give it a shot. And also, I may or may not have had U.S. currency on the Badgers covering, and they could have had a backdoor cover. So I was also very pissed off about how they handled the end of the Alabama game. But today, and I understand why that frustrates people, but today I was okay with it personally.
All right, thanks. I had some currency on that game, too.
Yeah, I feel okay. We're in the same boat, Jay. I feel you.
Appreciate you, Jay. Thank you very much for the call.
See you later.
So I'm a little bit more with Jay on the end of the game today and the end of the Alabama game where you literally have nothing to lose. In the first half, I sat kind of in between you and Mertzy on the spectrum. I wasn't like, oh, my goodness, we're throwing this away. This is a horrible decision. I understood you have a freshman quarterback there. But to that point, he hadn't made a mistake. He was 7 of 11. He had 91 yards. He had a touchdown on that great play call by Grimes. And then, Riley, when we saw the fourth quarter interception where Carter Smith just got fooled, thinking he had a wide open, not wide open, but
he just did not see the defender at all.
He thought he had Kekahuna open in space and didn't. The moment that happened, I went, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to put a freshman quarterback in the locker room instead of in a 2-minute drill against one of the best defenses and teams in the entire country that's vying for a national championship a month from now. So I was more upset at the end of the game. Those are free reps. This kid's not going to burn a year of eligibility. Everything from here on out is essentially, not to overuse it, but house money. He's getting experience. Why not get him in that 2-minute drill in a low-leverage environment? Because next season, especially against a more gettable schedule, when you're trying to take down a Rutgers or a USC, now those scenarios are going to matter. Now your team is down 17-14 with $1:56 to go, and you have that one timeout. And I think I'm going to look back to moments like this going, we could have gotten a dress rehearsal against a really good football team. Sure, the game was over, but you could have gotten the exact thing you were looking for without the stakes being so high. So the end of the game, I took exception to that.
Okay, and that is fair. I didn't really mind it today. Yeah. Even at the end of the game, it would have been some nice free reps for Carter Smith. But I understand. Yeah. And I think even the rest of this season, Illinois and Minnesota, those are gettable games.
Those are going to be good games.
It is very possible Carter Smith has to run a 2-minute drill to try and win
That's fair.
against Illinois.
Yep.
and against Minnesota. So I think that argument, if that's your argument, is very valid. And I guess it's just me personally.
Yeah.
Like, I think they'll run it enough in practice that Indiana had their backups in. Would he have gotten good experience? Yes, but I'm not too frustrated by that decision.
And to your point, 2 very gettable games coming up before we go to break here. Outside of keeping the core together, which is very important, you're no longer fighting for a bowl appearance. You could argue, even if these games against Illinois, Minnesota, it's never low leverage. But let's say Illinois, you're down 3 with a minute and a half to go, essentially almost the same exact scenario. It was like 55 seconds to go, and Wisconsin got the football today. That's a lower leverage environment again, where it's, hey, if it goes wrong, lesson learned, kid, you got 4 years of eligibility left, and you still have the whole second half to make up for it. Or you don't. You just do the same thing, and again, you trust that this offense is going to develop in the offseason, and you're going to keep the core together. Winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payouts in the area. Go be a winner at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. They're open right now, and they stay open until 2 a.m. on a Monday. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. When we come back, it'll be time for Red Hot Ice Cold. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Every team needs captains and playmakers, and Madison and Dane County Pizza Hut locations are looking for both. They're hiring managers to lead the crew and drivers to deliver big wins and pizzas. Find part-time or full-time roles with flexible hours, plus full benefits for those who work 30 or more hours per week. Whether it's running the huddle or making plays on the road, there's a spot at Pizza Hut for you. Apply today at jobs.pizzahut.com. That's jobs.pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your seat at the table just got better. Step into the high-limit room at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. This is true high-limit play. Experience enhanced game rules, including blackjack where the dealer stands on soft 17. Better odds, faster play, and authentic action that sets Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Your next hand could be your best yet. Find your edge, play your rhythm, and raise the stakes in the high-limit room at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Black Friday deals are here at Brothers Maine. Score the lowest prices of the year on top brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. With our low price guarantee, Big Box can't beat our deals. Shop local and save at Brothers Maine.
Sundays are for football and carbless. Born in Wisconsin, carbless handcrafted premium cocktails are packed with flavor, not sugar. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and gluten-free. Whether you're tailgating in Green Bay or calling the plays from your couch, Carbless is the cocktail that's always game day ready. Crisp, clean, and crafted to win. This season, drink like a champion. Drink Carbless, a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Shop the pig!
Thanksgiving starts with the bird, and at Piggly Wiggly, you can gobble up savings. Jenny-O turkeys are just 39 cents a pound. That's right, you can bring home a 12-pound turkey for less than $5. And while you're here, don't forget to sign up for the new Pig Points Rewards program, where the more you shop, the more you earn, and the more you save. So hurry in, grab your turkey, and make this Thanksgiving a winner, only at Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig.
Game day starts on Regent Street. Fuel up before every Wisconsin football home game at the Monster Energy tent. Grab free samples, snacks, some Monster gear, and get your energy up before kickoff. The best football pregame start with Monster Energy.
Hey Madison, it's Rich Eisen, and now you can hear the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio in the second best college town in the world. Sorry, Badgers fans. I mean, I am a Michigan man. The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays noon to 2, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
The dog days are over. The dog days are done. The horses are coming, so you better run. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. One last chance to take advantage of this amazing opportunity because our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games this football season. The final home game of the season is next week against Illinois. For just $20, get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline on Rim Rock Road. Corey Sparks and Riley Auk here with you at Pooley's in Madison. Scott in Fort Worth is on the line in the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Lists is more. Scott, hello, how are you?
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
We
yes,
sure can.
We can.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in my car. Sorry, I'm driving.
No worries.
I don't know what to think about this game at this point. You just kind of throw it out best you can. But my concern, I've just been thinking about this, is like, and I mentioned it in the chat. What do y'all think about the strength and conditioning coach? Is it just a fluke year for all these injuries, or is that something that they need to look at in the off season? Because man, damn, that's a lot of injuries, and I'm just trying to think, is there something that we can do to prevent that? And then also, the offense, they're going to have, I think they're winnable games coming up, but they're going to have to do something on offense. I mean, they got to have to just do something on, unless the defense is pitching shutouts or 10 points at the most, they're not going to win these games. And so, but I don't really have a whole lot to say about the game just because, it's Indiana, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're in line with most people. I've been searching for anyone with like hot takes or big conclusions drawn from this game, and I'm struggling to find any. But your first point, strength and conditioning, we actually talked about this during the break. I pointed out your text in the YouTube chat and wanted to talk about it, so thank you for bringing it up again. I think it's an issue. It is an issue and something that definitely needs to be evaluated this offseason. We were talking about it. I can't confirm this. We're going to try and get Colin Wilder on the postgame show next week. Little breaking news. Hopefully that works. And from what I have heard, this is hearsay, Colin Wilder has complained about Brady Collins, the strength and conditioning coach, and has said on the record, so I don't know if anyone can go out there and find this. I can ask him and try and get him to confirm hopefully next week. But that he is not happy with how they run it and that they work them too hard, specifically on Mondays and Wednesdays. And I love that they work hard. I've met Brady Collins. He's a nice guy. He's a really intense dude, and I like that he's pushing them. However, there is such a thing as working your guys too hard. Yep. And I have a stat here from the packet that they give us media members at Luke Fickell's press conferences every week. Injuries taking a toll is a bullet point right here. Try this stat on for size. To this point, not counting today, now Atuka, he's going to add to this ledger. To this point, 2025 projected starters have had 44 games missed or significantly impacted by injuries. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can't have a successful season when that many starters are out hurt. And sure, could it just be bad luck?
What was it?
Maybe.
What was
Continue,
it?
Scott.
What was it last year? Do we know?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but
that feels like a lot.
Obviously, quarterback went down.
Yep. Yeah, every year it seems like. I'm just curious. Is because I don't want to point the finger if it's not just, but is it a fluke or is it a trend? I don't know.
Yes, that is very interesting. Maybe during this next break we can try and find some injury stats for you, because I agree. I think at the very least, I feel you. I don't want to accuse Brady Collins of doing anything. Again, I've just heard. I don't know if that's true. It's not direct from the source. But if it is, that's a problem. That is a very big problem.
Yeah.
We need to reevaluate the strength and conditioning program because these guys need to be ready to compete at the highest level for a 12, hopefully next year, 13-game season at least. This is a long, difficult stretch. Like, playing football is really hard on the body, and they need to be in the best possible shape. And if you're beating them to death and everyone's getting hurt, that's a big problem.
Yeah, and I hate to point the finger, too, but, hey, when the team's doing bad, the fans are going to need something to talk about. So, sorry, it lands in that guy's lap. So, we'll see, I guess.
Fair
unfortunate. Enough. And then for next week on the offensive side of the football, I think we both agree. Like, they need to put points on the board. And I think you mentioned that, like, they scored their touchdown on a gotcha play, which is true. But it was still a great call. And I thought there were a lot of good calls today by Jeff Grimes that could have gone for something if they were executed properly. And they weren't. So they need to execute. Yes?
I was going to say, hey, Luke Fickell, take note. When you can do that, when you can run the ball, you can do play-action pass, and that kind of crap works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Well, it took
play
3 years to figure that out.
And I don't disagree that the timeline is bad. It was like the fact that it's year 3 and we're finally seeing these positives, that is not ideal. Not ideal whatsoever. And I think Gideon Atuka being out for we'll see. We still have no news on Atuka, but if he's out for the last 2 games, that does concern me. We have not seen really anything from Dupree, and he is our last running back left. I think it's Grover Bortolotti behind him. Like a 5'10", I think he's 200 pounds, but he is not large. He is not a large human being, and I don't like that backfield. Grover Bortolotti
I'll come up and do it.
Is very concerning. You'll need to be able to throw
I'll
the
come
ball.
up and do it.
They'll need to be able to pass.
Well, I'm 53 years old, but I need a running back. I'll come up and do it.
All right. Scott in Fort Worth is volunteering.
How many years of eligibility have you got, Scott?
Hey, these days
I should got all 4, and I won't blame the safety conditioning coach if I break my leg.
You got players going to the combine. I know you'd run hard, Scott, too. Like, we got guys going to the combine, coming back and playing. Like, you got guys in the G League coming back and playing for schools in basketball. So
Giannis teased he was going to play for Marquette.
I'm probably running an 8-second 40 now, guys.
That's all right. Just got to run hard.
Hey, that works. That works.
Yeah.
We can
all
work
right,
with that. You just need to balance it out. But thank you for the call, Scott. Really appreciate it.
All right, God bless, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Scott in Fort Worth on the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line list is more 844-770-3776. We're going to bring in the second hour of the postgame show next, and we will kick it off with Red Hot Ice Cold after we tell you that Pizza Hut delivers a win every single time with a big dinner box, just $19.99. That's 2 medium, 1 topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Feed the whole team for one unbeatable price. Find the nearest location or order online at pizzahut.com. Feed good times only from the Hut. Red Hot Ice Cold coming up next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I was afraid that college would be like high school. I worried about starting over and feeling alone. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I'm part of a community, and I've never felt alone. My instructors have been incredible, and I made so many friends and connections. My advice to others, don't let your fears stop you. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to Yahoo Sports senior NBA writer Dan Devine. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Title time is almost here for high school football.
Did he get all the way to the end zone? Yes, he did.
Hear all 7 state championship games on Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of Prep Mania, streaming live on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondell.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is.
Gordon again. What a performance by Melvin Gordon.
And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
An unrivaled fan base, the best college sports town in the world. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Just living up right here, right now. Till the sun comes up and the lights go out.
Bringing in hour number 2 of the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show live from Cooley's in Madison. Alongside Riley Yount, Corey Sparks here with you on 100.5 ESPN Madison and the ESPN Madison Milwaukee YouTube channels, as well as the ESPN Wisconsin app. If you've been hanging out with us since the beginning or just joined a moment ago, thank you so much for doing so. Our Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, Liss is more, is 844-770-3776. Looking ahead at the second hour, we've got Red Hot Ice Cold coming up in just a moment. We'll go over our drive of the game, brought to you by our friends at Chalmers Jewelers. Metro 4 to Madison College football scoreboard update. We do have some helmet stickers to hand out. Woo. And then we will look ahead to the next game. It's going to be the last home game of the season against Illinois. Still don't have a kickoff time on that, but we'll preview it nonetheless.
Hopefully Monday we find out. I mean, at this point, team's going to find out Friday night.
Yeah.
It's like, hope it's not an 11 a.m. kick.
The schedulers were on a bye week this week, apparently.
It's the way they've done scheduling this year has been so frustrating, and I think that's because of the expanded Big Ten, and you have these West Coast teams, and like they let the TV networks pick what matchup they want, and I'm sure whichever one has first dibs kind of changes every week. It's been nauseating.
A lot of moving parts.
Yes.
We are here with you in the Starion Bank broadcast booth. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. It is time for Red Hot Ice Cold.
Ho was scorching.
Going to keep it himself, another rushing touchdown for Wisconsin. Pouring it on in Piscataway.
Who froze up?
Block from his end zone. It's picked off. Jalen Reed. Touchdown. Huge play for the Penn State defense.
It's time to play Red Hot Ice Cold on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
He's got a fever.
All right, I'll kick us off here because, Riley, you were rocking a Rocky IV analogy in the pregame show with Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, and Brad Nortman, and it spanned into your bumpers, which I absolutely loved. You were quoting it. Great movie, great series, obviously, right? So I'll build off that as we get into the second hour of the show. You do martial arts, right, Riley?
Yes, I'm a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, and I'm currently a 3-stripe blue belt. I go to practice 3 times a week. I love it. It's awesome. Excited for UFC 322 tonight.
There we go.
Fireworks between Jack Della Maddalena taking on Islam Makhachev.
So I will leave you alone starting at 7 o'clock, and I'll never mess with you since you're practicing that 3 times a week. But you called this Rocky IV, so I'll run with the analogy here. On offense, it's strictly hand-to-hand combat. You can't win with just a jab, right? And
not usually.
Throughout the last few games, and again, Jeff Grimes hasn't had a cohesive offensive unit to work with. Wisconsin's offense has only had a jab, 3 4-yard runs, stretch right, stretch left. The jab is good for keeping the other fighter at bay, but its real job is to set up your power shots, right? Your overhand, your hook, your uppercut, your cross. And Wisconsin had not really been using those until this week we saw the haymaker. We had a pretty nice haymaker. It got everybody jumping up and down like a bunch of happy idiots in the studio.
Yes, it did.
And that is because Jeff Grimes has been using those jabs effectively. It wasn't pretty at first, but those 3 4-yard runs turns to games of 5, 6, 7, 8. You get Gideon Atuka once in a while breaking free before the injury for 10-plus yard runs. All of a sudden, those DBs start getting up, and the last thing you expect is good old Lance Mason leaking out the backside, getting wide open. So, Jeff Grimes, you're red hot for calling a good game. I know it was only 7 points, but considering the cards he's been dealt, I thought he threw the jab effectively enough to land that overhand right, or left, depending on
great analogy. I don't know if Jeff Grimes is a lefty or righty. Even you southpaw and orthodox. Nice. Someone's a little mixed martial arts or boxing fan.
Yeah, got some sneaky nuggets in there.
Okay. Yeah, to continue with the Rocky IV analogy, I was really hoping that today the Badgers would be Rocky Balboa. And you saw last week, Penn State almost set up like the first half of the fight where Rocky lands the big punch, and it's like, he bleeds, Rock. He's a man. He's not a machine, Rock. He's a man. Duke's barking at him in the corner, and then you have Drago on the other side saying, he's not human. He's like a piece of iron. And today, the first half, it was like the climax of the fight where they're just wailing back and forth. No defense, except this time it was really the defense is wailing back and forth, just swanging and banging. And I was hoping that in the second half they could hang around long enough for Balboa to deliver the decisive, I think it was a right hook, I can't remember, that sends Drago flying out of the ring. Knockout. The Cold War is over. Democracy is saved. Rocky is on top of the world. I was hoping we got to see that. Unfortunately, though, in the third quarter, Indiana was Drago, and we were Apollo Creed. They knocked us out cold. Thankfully, the Badgers and Fickell didn't throw in the towel like Rocky should have with Apollo, but we died in the third quarter. The Badgers died in the third quarter, and that was the game, unfortunately. But if you want to look red hot, someone who is like an Ivan Drago on this Badgers defense, it's still Mason Posa, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was absolutely sensational. He led the team in tackles, 5 of them solo, 12 total. He had a sack, a TFL. Daryl Peterson's right up there, too. He had a great game, 2.5 sacks. He was causing a ruckus in that backfield, making Mendoza hurt. Catalano had a solid game. Deani Hill had a great game as well. Coop almost knocked Mendoza out of the game. He
did.
Drilled him hard into the turf.
Talk about those hard hits. A lot of them were from 44 today.
Yeah, but Mason Posa and the defense as a whole still red hot, in my opinion.
And for ice cold, I've used this card a couple of times. Injuries, Gideon Atuka going down hurt this team very badly. Not only the nature of the injury, anytime you need a guy who's temporarily immobilized to get put off the field, carted off the field,
brutal.
That's not a great sign. But the way that Gideon Atuka runs, I think it's a microcosm of this football team, Riley. He is met by contact, by adversity early, and he has to power through and fight for every single yard. Wisconsin got hit in the mouth the first 7-8 weeks of the season, and they've really responded the last couple of weeks, and it's mostly been on his back. They've been a run-oriented football team, and he's been their lead rusher. So losing that possibly for the end of the season, again, we know practically nothing yet since it just happened. That really hurts. I'm curious to see what Grimes is going to do with yet another rendition of this offense against Illinois, which is a headache in its own right. But first and foremost, I hope Gideon's all right, and I hope he's a part of this football team in 2026.
Yes, so do I. Prayers up for Gideon Atuka, that is for sure. And Brett Roll in the ESPN Madison YouTube chat, thank you for our food here
awesome
at Pooley's. Gideon did get knocked out like Apollo. Unfortunately, he did.
Yeah.
And again, hopefully he's okay. Michael Glenn also saying you can win with just a jab. Yes, if you're talking strictly boxing.
If you want to win by points and be super conservative
yeah,
and have the best defense
but
ever,
that's so boring.
Yeah.
Like the way Floyd Mayweather Jr., I hate
example.
watching his fights.
Yep.
He's so frustrating.
You're not knocking anybody out with a
jab. Exactly.
Yep.
You're not. Yes.
I should have said that.
Yep.
But
and it's just boring. Like if you win with jabs, it's boring, which we would take at this point.
Yeah,
which we did last week.
I'll take some jab
wins.
wins.
We did that last week, but it was nice to see a haymaker, as you were saying. Ice cold for me. I also had running back health written down as a potential. But I'm gonna go with Carter Smith's second half. He made freshman mistakes. He had a great first half. Was very happy with what I saw. This doesn't negate the growth we saw from the youngster, but second half was just not optimal. You have one of Grimes' few bad play calls, in my opinion, on a 3rd and 9. QB keeper gets stripped, loses the football. You just can't have that if you want to remain in the football game. And really the knockout blow for Indiana, that interception, once he threw that, it was over. So Carter Smith, overall a solid performance. We saw steps forward, but he's still a freshman quarterback, and he made some big critical mistakes in the second half.
Bright side at least, and very good ice cold there, because I thought going into the second half, this kid might throw for 200 yards after throwing for 8 the last week. He's going to have a lot more to dissect on film this week, not only because he played the full game, but he completed a handful of passes. They were a little more pass-oriented today. You could tell Grimes had more drawn up for him. That Lance Mason play is probably one they look at and just laugh at and go, that was awesome. But he was able to split through the zone a couple of times. He had some nice recognitions on his second, his third progression. He was rolling out to his left, and, of course, Jeff Levering came in hot with the baseball analogy, saying he had that 3/4 arm slot like a shortstop. Those are pluses, and then the second half is going to be, Carter, we can't do that again. The throw over to Trech Kekahuna, you're a freshman, you're going to get the pass. But that's the full reason I'm glad he's playing right now. Again, he's not burning a year of eligibility. This is all free experience, I think. We can all agree on that. So he'll be able to look at what to do, and take some of those takeaways into the game against Illinois and the Fighting Brett Bielemas. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. When we come back, Drive of the Game Time, brought to you by our friends at Chalmers Jewelers. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Want to pay off this year's rent or mortgage? Feel like a real estate mogul at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison during November's Live for Free promotion. Starting at 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 29th, 24 winners will each spin the wheel for a cash prize of up to $5,000. Then at 8 p.m., one grand prize winner will pocket $25,000 in cash to use toward their rent or mortgage. This could be your chance, but you have to be here. Live it up this November and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh for my great friends at Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. It's the best time of the year. It's bourbon season. Weather outside getting a little chilly, but you can stay warm with a delicious glass of the Door County Distillery bourbon. Or check out Door County Distillery exclusives like their cherry bourbon and their bat bourbon. It's bat good. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
Game day in Wisconsin calls for a big play. The Big Dinner Box from Pizza Hut. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks, all for just $19.99. That's enough for you to feed your whole lineup and the fans before kickoff. Hand-tossed, pan, thin and crispy, even tavern style. Pizza Hut has something for every seat in the stadium. Order now for delivery or carryout at pizzahut.com or on the app. Fuel your game day with the Big Dinner Box. Pizza Hut. Feed good times.
Win a pair of tickets to see Green Bay host Chicago on December 7th, which includes access to Green Bay's upscale tailgating destination, the Tundra Trio. 3 upscale homes just steps from the stadium, featuring next-level pre- and post-game festivities with gourmet food and premium drinks. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and ESPN Wisconsin. Enter to win now at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wherever you watch the game, nothing hits like the bold signature flavor of Dr. Pepper. Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper during your next visit to McDonald's. No purchase necessary. Enter by November 23rd.
Is your computer so slow you can hardly use it? Does it have blue screens, malware, viruses, reboots, hardware crashes? Sound familiar? Computers will have problems, and when they do, you need the computer experts at Madison Computer Works. Every day we help home users and businesses keep their computers and networks running smoothly. For solutions to your computer problems, call the pros at 231-8000, and we'll turn this into this. Madison Computer Works. Computers that work for you.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
When she's lonely and the longing gets too much, she sends a cable coming in from above. Don't need to phone it on.
Indiana takes 31-7. Wisconsin hung in there, and then Riley fights her 12 rounds. We're going boxing. 12, 16, 12.
Yeah, 12 if we're talking boxing. 5. This wasn't a championship fight, so this would be 3 rounds in MMA.
Okay. Well, we made it through like the first round and a half, and we felt pretty good. It's just MMA.
Yep.
And then it kind of got out of hand.
Then we got rocked, and it was over. It was over from there.
It was over. All right. Well, ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
That's crush a Coors Light. Gonna have to do that tonight.
2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. There were not a whole lot of options, but the one option that we do have for a drive of the game, a pretty good one. We'll get to that now.
It's the drive of the game.
He's got the corner, and the Badgers touchdown answers quickly.
On ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The Badgers punctuating and pulling away.
The drive of the game is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers, helping guys score for more than 25 years.
Boy, I wonder.
Yeah, it's a really hard choice
The
today.
committee had to really look at this one and sit down and deliberate, huh?
Yeah, we were struggling. We were really struggling, but obviously 8 plays,
Yep.
79 yards, ends on the touchdown throw to Lance Mason on 4th and 1. Stellar play call from Jeff Grimes, and, excuse me, quick burp there. It was executed well.
It was.
Which we have not seen a lot of great execution so far this year from the Wisconsin Badgers offense, and that play, was beautiful. Picture perfect. That was fantastic. I'd actually argue that the first drive was better.
Yeah.
Just in a vacuum, the first drive, 13 plays, they only made it 48 yards, but took almost 8 minutes off the clock.
You chew the clock.
If they were able to punch that in, or even kick a field goal, I think you can make a case. That's the drive of the game, because they come out, establish themselves, and they looked really good. They moved the football. They converted third downs. But when you got nothing to show for it, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that was one where you come away from it. You're not happy that Vakos missed another kick, but you go, well, there's 8 minutes that Indiana will never have a chance to score in again. And that's important because now the pressure's on them. They're going, all right, we probably expected this. 3-6 football team. They're going to try and shrink the game. And even though that drive didn't end in points, I would say that's a good second-place option here if we're doing that. They did chew off enough clock for Indiana to go, all right, we're only going to get so many cracks at it here. But yeah, 8 plays, 79 yards. So Jesse Nelson's about 15 feet in front of us here. He's on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show with Adam Moritz, Brad Nortman, and yourself, Riley. He asked a really good question, 10 seconds after that play. When is the last time an offensive play for Wisconsin made you feel like that?
And it took us a while to come up with an answer.
It's been a bit.
Yeah, I think we ultimately settled on Braden Locke's pass to Vinny Anthony against USC last year, at the beginning of last year. I think that was week 4 against the Trojans.
October.
Man, yeah, it was a long time since we've had an offensive play get us out of our seats. And this one was still significantly bigger than that Vinny Anthony play, but it elicited the same feelings we're here. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's show out today. Let's put some pressure on it. And we were all fired up. We were hooting and hollering.
High-fiving.
In the Everlight Solar Studios. Man, did it feel like we had a shot at that point. And they did. They did have a shot, obviously, third quarter to forget. But at that point in time, they were right there with the Hoosiers.
It felt like we were at a game. That was fun. We got up out of our seats, jumping around, jubilation, happy with it, and then, the third quarter happened. But that is your drive of the game, brought to you by our friends over at Chalmers Jewelers. Carter Smith to Lance Mason, what we hope to be the first of many passing touchdowns for the true freshman quarterback, the 4-star out of Florida, who originally was committed to Michigan. I was scoreboard watching here. Michigan almost blew it away.
Man, they needed a walk-off field goal to beat Northwestern. Well, playoff hopes for the Big Ten were in big danger today. Michigan, they keep theirs alive. USC currently trailing Iowa 7-0. Their hopes, the loser of this game, their playoff hopes are done. Iowa, I guess technically at 6-3 is still on the fringe.
They're going to need some help.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. So the Big Ten, it might be Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon as the representatives this year.
And I think you could even say that might have been a de facto getting game last week between Iowa and Oregon. Because I bet there's a real world if Iowa runs the table, goes 10-2, and has a couple of ranked wins under their belt, they're in. Right?
If they had beaten Oregon and beat USC today, you can't keep a 10-2 Iowa team out.
Right. Yeah.
So, and they're on the drive inside the 10-yard line right now. Gronowski trying to find the end zone. They won't get it there. Can't do play-by-play right now on the radio. So I was trying to resist the urge. But Iowa within striking distance right now. They could go up 2 scores on the Trojans right now. And, yeah, big picture, SEC survives. Texas A&M came storming back. They were down 30-3 and just marched all the way back. 4 unanswered touchdowns to beat South Kakalaki, the Gamecocks. And, I mean, Wisconsin for a half had Indiana sweating. There were some fun games today throughout college football as Oklahoma goes up 10-0 on Alabama. It's a fun day. It's a fun day in college football despite the Badgers' loss.
Pretty good slate tonight. It's very hard not to scoreboard watch because there's so many different options. There's a lot of screens here at Pooley's in Madison.
Pooley's makes it easy.
This is an awesome place. You got the Big Ten flags up and down. We've already talked about it, but it's if you like sports memorabilia, this is your dream house here. Come here.
And you could spend hours just walking around and looking at everything and examining the pieces they have. This is sick. You can get a glimpse. It's hard to tell, but like behind me and next to Corey to the right, you can see these pictures and these old banners up. See the pennant, or you used to be able to see the pennant behind us. Wisconsin pennant. It is sick.
There have been some pretty cool celebrities here that have signed their own portraits and hung them up on the wall. I would go into the hundreds here. There's it's plentiful. 844-770-3776.
You got Bo Schembechler right there.
Wow.
2 Poolies. The legendary Michigan head coach, 2 Pooley.
That's pretty
how
sick.
do they do this? I don't know. It's insane. This is a legendary spot.
They're good at recruiting here, or at least this is just a place that you can't miss.
Even
You
out
can't
of
drive
state.
by it.
They're good at out-of-state recruiting here. Plenty of in-state. That's the base, obviously. That's the foundation.
But they would do well in the NIL era.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, good stuff. Dip into the portal.
Poolies could adapt to this wild climate, the Wild West of college football very well.
Good modern coaching here.
Yes.
I like it. Absolutely. Great food as well, and we appreciate them having us. Riley and I were kind of hinting at it, poking around, looking at the different games that we can see on the screens here. When we come back, our amazing producer, Owen Dimful, will do just that in a more official manner. We have our Metro Florida Madison College Football Scoreboard update. Coming up next, this is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
'Tis the season to be planning your holiday events. Whether it's a party for 10 or 10,000, Celebrations has the sound, video, lighting, special effects, and custom-themed decor to make it the best party ever. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With us on your team, your holiday or New Year's party will be easy to plan and super fun to attend. DJs, casino games, lighting, and photo booths are just the beginning at CelebrationsEntertainment.com. That's CelebrationsEntertainment.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Celebrate the holiday season at the restaurant that won gold in Best of Madison. Enjoy seasonal dishes, handcrafted cocktails, and hospitality that makes every visit special. Planning your holiday party? They'll help you host a celebration that everyone will remember. Don't wait. Make a reservation today to secure your spot this season. Visit their locations in Sun Prairie, Monona, Wanakee, or Mount Horeb and enjoy holiday cheer with great food and great company. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
PrizePicks is the best way to win cash on the Packers, on the Bucks, and whether it's football, basketball, or both, PrizePicks makes every game more exciting. Hey, it's Mark Toscher here with ESPN Wisconsin, and I've been playing PrizePicks, and it is as fun and simple as it gets. Which players are going to go off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds, and you can turn your takes into cash. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, get them right, and you can cash in. And now PrizePicks has stacks. Pick the player up to 3 times in one lineup. You want more on Giannis's threes, assists, rebounds? Stack them all only on PrizePicks. Plus, you can follow other players and copy their lineups in one click in the new Feed tab. And with injury reboots, if your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, it won't count as a loss. Deposits are fast and easy with Venmo, Apple Pay, and MasterCard, and more. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use that code WI, and you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI for PrizePicks. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Hear all 7 state championship games on Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of Prep Mania.
Christian Collins, see you later.
Streaming live on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
That they did. There's a pretty good argument. 11 of the last 12 quarters have went very well for Luke Fickell's squad, but the Badgers do fall to 3-7. They are not bowl eligible for the second year in a row after rattling off a streak that was spanning over north of 2 decades. Yep. We will get to that in a moment, but first, Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their amazing inventory. It's time to look around college football with a scoreboard update from our very own Owen Dimple.
Hey guys, busy day like you hinted at it earlier in the show. Some good top 25 matchups, but we're going to stick it right here with the Big Ten.
From L.A. to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
So like I said, keeping it with the Big Ten, started with the Badgers losing a tough one, 31-7. Right now, Iowa up 7-0 at USC. Very good game, a top 25 matchup between 2 teams. Hoping maybe they can sneak in as an at-large for the college football playoff. But as it stands right now, 7-0 Iowa. Rainy game to keep in mind as well. Could favor the Hawkeyes. You mentioned earlier, Michigan survived at Wrigley Field against Northwestern. Yes, you heard that right. A football game at Wrigley Field. 24-22 Wolverines. Also going on in the Big Ten right now, Penn State, Michigan State notched up 7 apiece. And Maryland leading 3-0 over Illinois. Later to come tonight, we have Purdue at Washington out west. That game kicks off at 6 o'clock on FS1. And then UCLA taking on top-ranked Ohio State at 6:30. You can find that on NBC. Other top 25 scores, number 3, Texas A&M survived against South Carolina. It was looking very scary there for a moment for the Aggies. They were down 30-3, rallied back with 28 unanswered. They win 31-30.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
Very nicely done, Owen. Looking around college football and looking around the Big Ten right now, Michigan did get a little scared. I thought there was no way on earth, more so referring to the top 25 now, that Texas A&M would come back and win. I'm like, that's the number 3 team in the country. They'll put up a fight. We'll get a good 4 quarters out of it. It'll be a game.
Yeah, but man, that's impressive.
We blinked. I looked over your shoulder, and I was like, oh, the Aggies won. Okay.
Yep. That was a beatdown of epic proportions by the Gamecocks in the first half. And, man, oh, man, Think of how their fans are feeling right now. We were satisfied. We were happy with that first half and hoping that we could keep it going into the second. And, maybe I was believing that we could get the job done, that we could win, hence my disappointment. And I think a lot of fans feel similarly, like happy with the effort, but disappointed because it felt like for a moment you could knock off the number 2 team in the country. Man, oh man, if you're South Carolina, they've had a rough season. They've fallen way below expectations this year.
They're 3-7 now too.
Exactly, and they were demolishing Texas A&M. It was not close, and then they choked that lead away. All they had to do was kick a field goal, and they win the game. And
that's tough.
Man, I
Got
love
shut out.
to. I might have to listen to one of their post-game shows once we wrap up here, because I'm sure that's some pretty solid content, very entertaining stuff.
Misery loves
going
company
on down in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, those poor fans down there getting shut out in the second half after putting up a 30-piece on a top 3 team in the country. Well, Riley, you and I were talking over the break right before we hit the Metro Florida Madison College football scoreboard update. Start doing the math, right? There's not a whole lot of it. Wisconsin can't make a bowl game anymore unless they get one of those offers.
If they're not enough 6-6 teams. And
they turned it down last year. They're like, no, we're good.
Well, they didn't have the academics. Cincinnati had better academics, and I forgot there's one other team ahead of Wisconsin.
Okay, so there's qualifications that they go to.
And it goes to academic progress rate, APR. Okay. And Cincinnati was number 1. I think they got in, and I think there was one other team ahead of Wisconsin that didn't even get down to number 2.
Sure.
So if there aren't enough 6-6 teams,
maybe
theoretically, if they beat Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, could go bowling, but you can't bank on it.
Hit the books. Yeah. Fair enough.
Hopefully they're smart.
Do really well in those midterms and finals. Anyway, so it got us thinking, though. Best case scenario at this point, Wisconsin beats Illinois, Wisconsin beats Minnesota. That would be a hell of a way to end the season. And you're 5-7 again. If Wisconsin wins the last 2 games, and we can open this up 844-770-3776 to the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line as well. If Wisconsin wins the last 2 games and finishes this year out at 5-7, are you satisfied with where the program is headed, at least?
I am satisfied with where the program is heading. I am optimistic for the future. Am I satisfied with this season? Do I think it was a successful season? No, not even close. If you were the Wisconsin Badgers, you cannot be happy. You cannot sit on your laurels after a 5-7 season and be content with that. It's still not acceptable.
Yep.
However, if they win these next 2 games, especially if they go out and win them convincingly, then I think you can have some real hope and some real optimism for the future, especially with how talented these young freshman players are in Mason Posa, Cooper Catalano, Carter Smith, Eugene Hilton, Gideon Atuka. You can feel really good about where they're heading. This isn't last year's team where they just limped to the finish line. They're 5-2, and they lose their last 5 games. This is not at all how last season ended. Actually, this is all contingent on them winning their last 2 games.
Right.
It's not the same vibe heading into the offseason at all. You know for a fact Fickell's going to be here next year. You don't have to worry about the hot seat. You don't have to give any concern to that. You have to take that momentum, take that growth, and build upon it in the offseason. We talked about it in the pregame show. You have only 1 transfer portal now.
Yep.
You have to hit that hard. Maybe you go after a quarterback again and let Carter Smith develop. If not, I'd still go out and get a backup.
Yeah.
I'd still hit the portal for a QB because right now you have Danny O'Neal, not really confident in him. You have Carter Smith. I think he has shown enough flashes and moxie and leadership capabilities where you can build on him, but maybe he needs another year to simmer a little bit, to marinate, if you will. Go after maybe some receivers because Vinny Anthony's going to be gone. You have to hit the portal hard.
Yep.
You will. And you have one, I think, early signing periods late December. You got to take advantage of that. But then if you do that, if the Badgers are successful there, if the Badgers have a good portal, good early signing day period, national signing period, I forget exactly what it's called. If Fickell does well there, I think everyone's feeling pretty happy. If you keep the guys you need to keep moving forward, you're feeling good. You are feeling very good heading into next year with a much, much more manageable schedule. And then next year is truly a make or break season for the Badgers.
Yeah, very well put. Jim Rutledge, who hosts the Jump Around with Pablo Iglesias and yourself, Riley Auk, every Thursday on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. He said something at the start of the season that I wholeheartedly agreed with, and I think that thought has evolved. And he said this: going into the season, if you are looking for clarity, there are 3 outcomes. The Badgers win 4 or less games, you're likely seeing some people on their way out the door.
Mm-hmm.
The Badgers win 6, 7 or more games, you're probably giving the vote of confidence, which we ended up seeing already, towards the staff, and you get that continuity going into 2026, a much more gettable schedule, which we'll get to in a moment. He said if you win 5 games, there could be a lot up in the air, and you might not get the clarity. Now, Chris McIntosh stepped forward a couple of weeks ago and literally said, you want clarity, here it is.
Here is the clarity.
Here's the clarity. Luke Fickell's our guy in 2026. But if the Badgers go 5-7 in this nature, that means beating Illinois, who they're kind of in a free fall right now, and Minnesota, your ultimate rival.
Yes.
And you've now probably played 4 or 5 pretty good games in a row. Today I'm going to put below average, but not by much, that you could salvage a lot out of today. And again, we know what Wisconsin's identity is now. A lot has unfolded, though. You've got this team playing 3 pretty good games in a row compared to the standard that we gave them. You have a freshman core in Posick, Catalano, Smith, maybe Atuka as well. Again, hopefully he comes back fully healthy and everything goes well there. And you did get the vote of confidence, so you know who your leader is. So in terms of stripping something down to the studs, it could be a lot worse. You could not know who you are. You could not know who's coming back next year, and you could not know who's leading the football team out there. All those things are not true. Wisconsin has all those things. And you look at their schedule next year, their Big Ten opponents are Michigan State, Rutgers, obviously Minnesota and Iowa, USC, Maryland, Penn State, no more James Franklin, and they are no longer ranked, Purdue and UCLA.
Yeah.
I don't want to look too far ahead, Riley, but if we bring back this core and this team continues to progress and they go 2-0 to finish the season 5-7, I'm liking what I see next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking next year. Again, this is no. Actually, I'm not even going to make it contingent on how they end this season. Next year, with that schedule, 8 wins should be the baseline. Like, you should be able to manage 8 wins out of that schedule, get to a respectable bowl game, at least, with what you hope to see from Fickell. He came in talking championships. And what are we seeing that? No. But at the bare minimum, Chris McIntosh said this in one of his really boring political statements, that next year they need to compete with the Big Ten. And they need to compete with at least the second tier of the Big Ten next season. They cannot be where they are right now. And if we don't, if they don't continue to grow next year, then the clarity will be so much clearer. Fickell will be gone. And man, oh man, will this – and McIntosh is probably gone too. And those will be some massive, massive mistakes. And then Wisconsin's in full rebuild mode if they don't. But if Fickell does, and I'm one of the few potentially that's confident that Fickell will continue to build what he has started this season. This team will continue to grow, and they will be successful next year. If he gets at least 8 wins, if he gets 9 or 10,
sign me
then,
up.
Oh boy, here we go. We got a young group. We've been saying it all show, a young core. Then they're going to be juniors in 2027. And I don't know what the schedule looks like exactly. I know they start in Ireland against Pitt, which will be fun. But outside of that, then this team should be a problem for everyone else in the Big Ten, and we should be a lot closer to where we want to be as Wisconsin Badgers.
And in that scenario, when it comes to the NIL era and the transfer portal, now you have a much more appealing destination than Wisconsin has been
And
the last
Fickell,
couple years.
already a good recruiter. He's gotten a lot of solid young talent on this team. It makes it a lot easier sell. And that's the thing. The Badgers have been in the mix for a lot of high-end talent. I think 1 5-star, but even a lot of 4-star guys, and then some higher-end 3-star guys where they're just missing out, especially those 4-star guys where they've just missed them. Just missed them. They're down to the final 2, final 3, and they go somewhere else. You can start flipping those when you start winning. And it makes it that much more attractive, and Camp Randall's full again, and we're closer to where we want to be as a program.
8-4 would solve a lot of problems. 5-7 this season could make 8-4 next season a lot more possible as well. When we come back, our final segment, we take a look ahead to Illinois. That'll be the final home game of the 2025 season. And we give out helmet stickers here on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Want to pay off this year's rent-a-mortgage? Feel like a real estate mogul at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison during November's Live for Free promotion. Starting at 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 29th, 24 winners will each spin the wheel for a cash prize of up to $5,000. Then at 8 p.m., one grand prize winner will pocket $25,000 in cash to use toward their rental mortgage. This could be your chance, but you have to be here. Live it up this November and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
There's a lot to be thankful for this season at Metro Ford of Madison. Get the 2025 Ford F-150 STX, now available with 2.9% APR for 66 months. That's just $16.64 per $1,000 financed. Or if leasing's your style, drive home the F-150 STX for just $299 a month with $3,859 due at signing for 36 months. Don't wait. These thankful offers end November 19th. Find your next Ford today at MetroFordofMadison.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
Win a pair of tickets to see Green Bay host Chicago on December 7th, which includes access to Green Bay's upscale tailgating destination, the Tundra Trio. 3 upscale homes just steps from the stadium, featuring next-level pre- and post-game festivities with gourmet food and premium drinks. Thanks to Dr. Pepper and ESPN Wisconsin. Enter to win now at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wherever you watch the game, nothing hits like the bold signature flavor of Dr. Pepper. Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper during your next visit to McDonald's. No purchase necessary. Enter by November 23rd.
We're on Badgers volleyball.
Near the net, Carter Booth, two-hand slam in the middle.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
21 kills for Collier.
Your home for UW volleyball. 100.5 ESPN.
On this thing, shall we? It is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show, brewed by Coors Light, alongside Riley Yauk. I am Corey Sparks here at Pooley's in Madison. Awesome venue, awesome watch party spot. Great spot for food, too. The Phillies hitting pretty good. Did you get a chicken sandwich?
Yeah, I got a chicken sandwich.
Oh,
pretty
nice move.
solid. Pretty solid.
Respect. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Both got a side of fries as well. All right, so we're going to do a quick look ahead. We'll also do helmet stickers. And actually, we can flip that order here, since usually we'll wrap up with the look ahead against Illinois, which we still don't know the start time for. Hopefully we get some, speaking of clarity on that coming up here for the benefit of both teams, so they know when they can show up, start warming up, and doing all that good stuff. But first, it is time for helmet stickers.
Let's see who earned it.
Jack Cichy doing it all on this drive for the Badger D. Melvin Gordon inside the 20. Uses the stiff arm. Hold on. Is he in? It's a Wisconsin touchdown.
Going deep. Down the left sideline. Man's there and got him. In stride. And it's Vinny Anthony. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Time to give out some helmet stickers on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Start us off here. There are probably a few to give out. I know no moral victories, but this team stuck with Indiana a lot better than most other teams have. One to be Illinois, who Wisconsin will see next week. Illinois lost to Indiana 63-10 earlier this year when they were both ranked.
Yeah, I'm going to give out 2 helmet stickers actually today. One to Lance Mason on the offensive side of the ball. He had the one catch for 45 yards, but it was an awesome catch, to say the least, right on the edge of the fingertips. Beautiful play-action pass. Got the Badgers' only touchdown of the game. Absolutely love to see that. That was really fun. A great moment. We were jumping out of our chairs.
That was so fun.
We were fired up.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to see. Beautiful play call, beautiful execution. He also had one run on a little jet sweep motion action, which was fun.
He's been a
for
good tool
7
to have.
yards. He missed a block, which I remember. I forgot exactly which play it was. But that was rough. But outside of that, he played a very good game, and he has been a very reliable target for both Hunter Simmons and Carter Smith now in his first couple of games. So I really like what Lance Mason has done on the offensive side of the ball, putting together a nice senior season. And finally, Deani Hill. We gave him a little bit of love last week. I think it was Joe and Madison shouted him out. And this week, he put on an encore performance on the defense. He was right behind Mason Post in tackles with 9, and he was just flying all over the field. Deani Hill, again, another senior transfer from Miami who unfortunately will leave after this season. But it is still nice to see. Like, you talk about motivation. These guys have definitely not quit. They are playing their asses off. They are fired up. And even when they run out of gas today, like, they're still putting their all out there. And it's nice to see the elder statesmen do that as well, along with the young guns. So Deani Hill, Lance Mason, a couple of seniors get my helmet stickers today.
So guys like Hill and Mason, obviously they're veterans here in college football and on this team. Those freshmen who aren't the Mason Posas and Cooper Catalanos of the world, who aren't getting playing time yet, who are in those positions, whether it be a tight end or a DB, those are guys they're looking up to. So, I mean, you talk about, no, Hill's not going to be on this team after a month from now, but that might leave a lasting impact on a freshman who's going to get playing time next year, who will be a sophomore, or if they redshirt him, right? So, yeah, I think you have having veteran guys who their time here is going to be done pretty soon, which is very sad, but they're going to leave a lasting impact on someone else who's going to step up, take their spot, and hopefully do it even better. My one helmet sticker will be Daryl Peterson, 2.5 sacks. Part of a defensive line that got home pretty often. 5 sacks on Fernando Mendoza. I know there were certain aspects of this game, mainly the third quarter, that we weren't very happy about.
Yes.
But getting home 5 times on arguably the most dynamic quarterback in football right now, that's a win. That's a huge win.
Yeah, I think that's a great call. Daryl Peterson was all over the place. And this defense, despite the scoreboard, I think is a little deceiving. They were set up with 2 short fields in the second half. 2 touchdown drives for under 50 yards. One was 28, one I think was 48, along those lines. Like, they still played them tough. Like, this defense still put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
And they have shown, like, this team's identity is on the defense. They were thudding, they were hitting, they were matching Indiana's intensity. And I think this defense can play and handle anyone in the country, which is a really, really positive sign.
Absolutely. Final thoughts, Mr. Yauk, before this team gears up for not only their second-to-last game of the season, but their final home game of 2025 against Illinois.
This season flew by, which is sad. I love me some Badgers football, and it sucks that we only got 2 weeks left of it. Ugh, I'm sad. Before I get to my final thoughts, quick, Roger in the ESPN Madison YouTube chat throw out a quick couple of questions. Why do we let Bostad, the O-line coach, go? Man, I wish I knew. That was a Luke Fickell decision, another bad decision when he came in to Wisconsin. Didn't know him, I guess, and he decided to go to Indiana. He's been there since 2023, since Fickell got here. Yeah. He left after Jim Leonard left. That was a mistake. I really wish he was still here. We heard Brad Nortman on the pregame show say great things about him. We've heard Derek Engler and Tarek Saleh and Barry Alvarez on the Barry Alvarez show every Monday say great things about him. He is a very good offensive line coach, and he is taking some of the best offensive linemen in the state of Wisconsin, which is a problem. However, I do think, and he also, I forget the name of the first offensive line coach that Fickell had, which was a bust and a half. I forget his name, but the new one who is currently installed right now has been significantly better. And I think with all the young guys, all the redshirt freshmen on this team, on that offensive line right now, there's 3 of them to be exact. Bring back Kevin Haywood next year. I think they're going to be a much more cohesive, a much better unit, and I like where our offensive line is heading moving forward. But just wanted to address that. He's tired of hearing about 4 and 5 stars. Indiana's doing this with 3 stars. Yeah.
It is about being able to coach these guys up, too.
And that's coaching. But then you also have Cooper Catalano's a 3-star, and he has been playing out of his mind. So it's possible. But, yes, Indiana, Coach Cignetti is doing a way better job than Luke Fickell is right now. And I think that's an objective truth. So we're not going to brush that aside. But my final thoughts on Wisconsin's 31-7 loss to Indiana. This was an unfortunate but expected snap back to reality for the Badgers. We were riding the high last week against Washington and then had a first half. We were even riding that high throughout the whole first half. And then the third quarter rolled around, and it's like, yep, this is still Indiana. They are 11-0 now for a reason. The young guys showed a lot of growth today. The defense battled constantly. They kept them in this ball game for a very long time, much longer than most teams would be in this game with that kind of offensive output. Grimes, I think, called a very good game for what he was handed, the cards he was dealt. I believe the phrase you used earlier, getting Atuka going down was brutal. The third quarter sucked. They gave the number 2 team in the country a scare. We've now seen 3 solid football games in a row, maybe minus that third quarter. Given these circumstances, that is so commendable and gives me a lot of optimism for these next 2 games against Illinois and Minnesota. Illinois is a solid team. They've had horrible losses to the best in the conference, but they've pretty much beaten everyone else. So Wisconsin has shown last week against Washington they can beat good teams, and they're going to need to do it against Illinois. I think they can. I hope they do. And Minnesota, that is such a gettable game. That is for the Axe. That's going to be a slugfest. I am so excited. Now, had a setback against Indiana. Tough, but there's a lot of positives, a lot of moral victories you can take from today. Now, let's beat Illinois. Let's get the Axe back. Come on now.
Yeah, I love it, Riley, and I think these last 2 games are going to be where the fruits of your labor really come up. This gauntlet sucked while it was happening. Washington game was a lot of fun. You could gather some positives from the Oregon contest before that, and you can do the same thing with the first half and parts of the fourth quarter. Today, now you use those lessons. I almost just fell off the stool.
That would have been a funny way to end the show.
You use those lessons. You use the true freshmen who have really improved for you to your advantage. You know who you are now, and you go in and you burn through these last 2 games and go 2-0. I think it's very obtainable. Probable would be a strong word, but I think you can at least steal one of those. And if we're gonna make our pick, it's probably the last one. If I had to guess. But like you said, Illinois is in a bit of a free fall. Let's not let the bigger picture get compromised here. They're still a really talented football team. They win one of those games that they were kind of punching up in. They're probably still ranked at this point. But, they've been beaten up, too. They've also had quite the gauntlet at certain parts of their schedule. But that is next week. We do not know the kickoff time. But when we do, the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show will start winding down the final 2 hours before kickoff. And then from the final whistle, 2 hours plus after, we will have ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show, and we are brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I'm getting eager for it. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our amazing producer back at the Everlight Solar Studios at 100.5 ESPN Madison. That is Owen Dimful. Riley, thank you. Corey Sparks signing
thank
up.
You. It's been fun.
There we go.
Jinx.
Exactly.
You owe me a soda.
Next week,
a Coors Light.
At home, at Illinois. We will see you then. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Electric bills are out of control, but with federal incentives, you can go solar with